Arsene Wenger wants to keep him at Arsenal, but he's wanted in Manchester. And reports in Italy today state that it's not just City in the mix for Alexis Sanchez. Yeah, hi there. Alexis Sanchez's future very much is the big story this afternoon, but he's not the only Arsenal forward linked with a departure. And could former Southampton striker Matt Letizia have a role to play in any deal?
I have got his number, yes. I haven't spoken to him at this point, but yeah, if that's what it would take to get him to come to our club, then I'd happily do it.
Naby Keita will become a Liverpool player in the summer, but is there any chance they could get him sooner? Transfer news too, and after only joining the club this summer, is Xavi Hernandez on his way out of West Ham? And the Huddersfield head coach David Wagner made the breakthrough in his pursuit of Norwich's Alex Pritchard.
We are nearly a third of the way through the transfer window, and the big story today is developments concerning Alexis Sanchez. Now, our colleagues at Sky in Italy are reporting Manchester United want to sign him from Arsenal and have made contacts with his representatives. Now, United are said to be willing to include Henrik Mkhitaryan in the deal. We haven't received any information from Arsenal to suggest that they've received a formal offer for Sanchez, and United are not confirming or denying anything at the moment.
OK, let's go to the source of this story, live to Valentina Fass in Milan. Valentina, good afternoon to you. Thanks for your time. What more can you tell us then about this approach from Manchester United?
Well, hi, Kave. Well, yes, it's been more than an approach, really. They seem to be very determined to get Alexis Sanchez away from Manchester City. Sanchez had already a kind of agreement, general agreement with Manchester City to go there either in June, when he will be a free agent, when his contract ends, or now, but he hadn't signed anything. And then Manchester United steps in. From what we know, there have been a few meetings already between Manchester United and Sanchez's agents, one of them even in London in the past few days. Manchester United seem very determined to get him. Again, it could be either now or in June, but what seems to be the key to all of this is the amount of money. I think they're prepared to offer more money than Manchester City to get him, and they're putting on the table also a player, Mkhitaryan.
European time, which will be 4:15 our time in London, so just over an hour and 5 minutes away at the club's media centre at Paterna. More as we get that, Francis Coquelin, who's come through the Arsenal youth system, been there since 2008, left now to Valencia, buyout clause of 80 million euros on his new contract. Don't know the fee for this deal, but Francis Coquelin, Valencia player.
So that is Coquelin going to Spain. Could Michy Batshuayi be going to Spain as well? Well, Sevilla working very hard to try and convince Chelsea to let them take Batshuayi on loan. He's only started 3 league games since he moved to Chelsea 2.5 years ago. West Ham have also tried to sign him in the past. Chelsea manager Antonio Conte says Batshuayi has a future at the club, even though he is not starting games. Let's go to one of the best players in the Championship. Norwich City have agreed a deal worth up to £11 million to sell Alex Pritchard to Huddersfield Town. He's having a medical today. Pritchard started his career at the West Ham and Tottenham academies. Tottenham sold him to Norwich for about £8 million in the summer of 2016. Now, we've been speaking to David Wagner today. This is what he's had to say about Pritchard and any other potential arrivals.
The two clubs found a solution, and now it's all about the personal terms, and I'm very confident that we will find for this a solution in the next 24 hours as well. The window is still open. We still have the eye on the market. Nobody knows what happens in the next games. This is always the same answer, because there can happen so many things in this games or in this weeks in terms of injuries, performances. So I'm happy with what we've done so far with Terence Kongolo, and hopefully we can add Alex to our football club and squad as well. And then I'm very happy with what we've done. But was this the last one? Maybe, maybe not. I cannot seriously answer this question.
As always, though, I'll have to put one name to you at least. Marko Grujic at Liverpool, you're being linked with a loan move for him. Is there anything in that at all?
I don't like to speak about individual names, but one thing everybody, I think, knows, if there is an interesting player from Liverpool, then we will sign him on loan or as a permanent if we have the opportunity. And this is why usually it shouldn't be a secret for us.
OK, lots of news if you are a West Ham United supporter. Let's start with Javier Hernandez. We were told this morning that West Ham will listen to offers for him. The Mexico forward moved to West Ham from Bayer Leverkusen for £16 million just last summer, but he scored only 4 times this season. Now, David Moyes is concerned the squad he inherited from Slaven Bilic is unbalanced, too many attackers, not enough defenders. Hernandez, who earns about £115,000 a week, is the top earner at West Ham at the moment.
Yeah, Hernandez reunited with David Moyes. How does his season, though, compare to his final campaign at Bayer Leverkusen last season? Well, he's played slightly fewer games for West Ham, but his scoring record is worse. Just 4 goals this season. It's 1 every 261 minutes, compared to 1 every 165 minutes for Leverkusen. He's also failed to contribute a single assist for West Ham, when he actually got 3 in the Bundesliga last season.
Now, West Ham are in talks to sell Diafra Sakho to Crystal Palace. Fee is between 10 and 12 million pounds. Sakho wants to move and play more, especially with Senegal qualifying for the World Cup finals this summer. Now, if this deal goes through, Palace would have 3 Sakhos: Diafra Sakho, Mamadou Sakho and Bakary Sakho. A real nightmare that for commentators. Following Sakho out of West Ham could be Andre Ayew. West Ham still hopeful they'll be able to sell him back to Swansea City. West Ham, of course, signed him from Swansea for £20 million in the summer of 2016. They're now willing to let him go as David Moyes wants to change his striking options. The move, though, is complicated because West Ham are trying to sign centre-back Alfie Mawson from Swansea. Swap deals notoriously difficult to complete, especially in January. Other players who could be coming into West Ham. This one is really interesting. The Russia captain, Fyodor Smolov, says he wants to sign for West Ham. The 27-year-old striker wants to move to London from Russian side Krasnodar. Now, he scored 2 really memorable goals against Spain in November, which led to reports that Real Madrid wanted to sign him this month. He's been described as the Russian David Beckham, and he would cost about £15 million. Another player being linked with West Ham is Scott Arfield, the Burnley midfielder. Now, he has less than 6 months left on his contract, and he'd be available.
Manchester City, part of a great weekend of action, live on Sky Sports Premier League.
Welcome back to the Transfer Centre. Now, Sky in Italy are reporting that Manchester United have entered the race to sign Alexis Sanchez. The information from their sources is that United have today made contact regarding the striker, are willing to pay in excess of what Manchester City have offered for Sanchez, and would be willing to consider Henrik Mkhitaryan in any deal. Well, this story is gathering pace, developing all the time. Let's cross live now to Guillem Balaguer to get the latest on United's pursuit of Sanchez. Afternoon, Guillem. What can you tell us?
Well, the first thing to say is that Manchester City right now don't want to pay more than £20 million for Alexis to Arsenal. That's as far as they will go. Otherwise, they're so confident that they have the player that they will wait until the summer for him. It is a decision to be made by the player, of course, and City feel that Alexis have decided to join forces with Pep Guardiola again. And of course, as you were saying, Sky Italia reporting that Manchester United can come and say, yeah, but we're going to pay double to you, Alexis, and to Arsenal. And then there will be a crossroad to decision to make. But City are confident that Alexis will join them, and they don't want to pay more than £20 million in January.
Interesting, emotional connection there. Now, I understand you also have an update on Stoke's search for a new manager, Guillem. Can you tell us about that, please?
Yeah, fascinating situation and another crossroads for Quique Sanchez Flores. Stoke representatives of the highest caliber travelled to Barcelona recently to meet him, and they put on the table a very interesting offer, 5-year deal, money as well to get new players that can be signed right now. And the plan is that they want an answer by tomorrow. Espanyol is playing the second leg of the Cup today against Levante. It's 1-2 to Levante in the first leg in Barcelona. They are in Valencia now. And Quique Sanchez Flores has not said yes yet, but will answer tomorrow. And it's a decision to be made, either a yes, immediate yes, like right now, or will stay at Espanyol. My instinct is that the proposal is so interesting, plus the fact that Espanyol have not kept the promises that they said they would do when Quique first arrived, suggests to me that tomorrow perhaps Quique Sanchez will announce his departure from Espanyol. But we'll have to see, because a final decision has not been made yet.
Fascinating. We'll keep our eyes on that one. Thank you, Guillem. Okay, more on Alexis Sanchez now. So how does he compare with the Manchester United forwards who are there currently? Here is his stats from the last 2 seasons. He's played 73 games, scored 38 goals, which is a minute per goal ratio of 156 minutes, compared with Romelu Lukaku. Lukaku has scored more goals, arguably more of an out-and-out striker in that 9-figure, better minutes per goal record there for him. He scored over double the goals Martial scored, typically played wide of a 3 for United, almost double Rashford's record too, but Zlatan Ibrahimovic, the elder statesman of the whole lot, it's the best minutes per goal record of those players. He's found the net every 139 minutes on average. He's, of course, though, recovering from that serious knee injury. So, as we mentioned, another player who could be on the way out of Arsenal is Theo Walcott. He's only made 5 Premier League appearances for the club this season. Walcott moved to Arsenal from Southampton 12 years ago, but Everton are favourites to sign him. He cost about £20 million. So what would it take for him to get back to his best?
I think it would have to take a move away from Arsenal to do it. I think it's just become a little too comfortable there for him. I remember having a conversation with him on the telephone a couple of times when he was picked to go to the World Cup in 2006, and just thinking, blimey, this boy's 16, he's going to a World Cup, and I can't believe how fortunate he is. Now, sadly, the potential that he showed at that age, I don't think he's quite fulfilled it, which is a huge shame, because there was so much there to work with, and I just feel that under Arsene Wenger at Arsenal, he hasn't reached the heights that perhaps his ability should have taken him to.
Have you still got his number? Are you still tempted to give him a little bell?
I have got his number, yes. I haven't spoken to him at this point, but yeah, if that's what it would take to get him to come to our club, then I'd happily do it.
Lots of big transfer stories today, but trending on the Sky Sports website and app, those comments we brought you earlier from Daniel Levy, who's confirmed Tottenham's big-name players won't be going anywhere. There's also more on Javier Hernandez's future. Sky sources telling us West Ham will listen to offers for the striker. And there's more on that breaking news that Francis Coquelin left Arsenal and joined Valencia.
Busy day for Arsenal news, and there's also an update on the future of Olivier Giroud. Still question marks over his future, but his agent says he will only leave Arsenal for something extra. Now, Giroud hasn't started regularly since Arsenal signed Alexander Lacazette. He's out with a hamstring injury at the moment. Turkish clubs Besiktas and Fenerbahce interested, and of course West Ham tried to sign him last summer. Let's go to Everton. We know they're going to try and sign a centre-back this month. One option is Adama Soumaro. Now, he plays for Lille in France, and Lille desperate to raise money by selling players this month. Soumaro is a powerful defender valued at about £18 million. He's also been watched by West Ham, Borussia Dortmund and Monaco. Now, a player who could be leaving Everton this month is Mohamed Besic. We are being told that Torino, very, very keen to sign the midfielder. He's recovered from a long-term knee injury, but he's not getting games at Goodison Park. Everton paid £4 million for him 4 years ago. Now, if he moves to Torino, he'd work under former Watford manager Walter Mazzarri. Let's finish up with one of the most sought-after young players at the moment. His name, of course, is Ryan Sessegnon, and he will not be sold this month. That is according to Fulham Vice-Chairman Tony Khan. Manchester United, Tottenham, just two of the clubs who want to sign him. He's one of the hottest young properties in world football at the moment. Now, Khan told the Daily Telegraph, Ryan will not be departing during this window. He'll be with us as we fight to achieve promotion this season. That sounds like a hands-off warning until the summer.
Let's get more from Sean Dyche. He wants more players after signing Tottenham winger Kevin Nkudu on loan until the end of the season. Dyche has revealed he spoke to former Burnley and current Spurs right-back Kieran Trippier before completing the deal for Nkudu.
On a personal level, we've got Trips there, of course, and I spoke to Trips just as more of a character reference, not about his ability. You know, he showed me he wants to work hard, he wants to make a mark. But as I said, they've got some very good players there, and it's difficult to get into Tottenham. It's difficult to get into our side, but it's difficult to get into Tottenham's side. So I think we'll wait and see what he offers. But he's coming nice and bright, that's for sure, and nice and alert. And he knows he'll be in a good camp here, I'm sure of that, because Trips knows most of the players here. So I would imagine that Trips assured him that, you know, he'd be well looked after and at least enjoy his time here. And that's what we look for him to do. And then, of course, deliver when needed.
Swansea have been linked with Fulham right-back Ryan Fredericks and Cameroon striker Vincent Aboubakar, but Carlos Carvalhal is refusing to talk about transfer targets. However, there has been interest in Alfie Mawson, but the Swansea manager is confident the club will hold on to all of their players this window.
When I signed, was very clear that we are trying to bring players to improve the team, and we will not sell in January the best players. So if someone come and give 100 or 50 millions or 150 millions or 260 millions, of course this is completely different, no, as you understand, to me or to Coutinho or a Neymar or whatever. So this is, we never can say that it will not happen to all the players, understand? But the fundamental, the idea is not to sell players and try to improve the team.
Things happening all the time.